First off, I want to thank you all for the amazing support you've shown to the podcast. If you find it difficult to gain and finish hours-long 8 to 10 podcasts per week, please subscribe to most advanced, featured, and accurate quick podcast summaries on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. You can start with free trial, which lets you listen all the podcasts and later, just for the price of candy in most places. It will save you from spending 15 to 20 hours per week catching up. Here is a rundown on Microsoft's AGI plan and quantum breakthrough, featuring Satya Nadella by Dwarkesh Patel. Satya Nadella is thrilled to be on the podcast and appreciates the way Dwarkesh conducts his interviews, exploring broad topics. He reminisces about his early days in the tech industry, starting in the 90s, where there were debates about RISC versus CISC and the potential of building servers using x86. He notes that the current tech landscape feels similar, with the entire stack being relitigated from core silicon to the app tier.
Nadella believes that the decisions made in the 80s and 90s, such as the adoption of x86 and the development of the client-server model, were long-term winners. He also acknowledges that the internet bubble of the 90s led to the build-out of data centers, which ultimately resulted in the modern internet. He notes that Microsoft missed the opportunity to capitalize on the search business model, which Google successfully executed. When asked about where value will be created in AI, Nadella points to two areas: hyperscalers and the infrastructure needed to support AI workloads. Nadella also discusses the potential for models to become commoditized, but notes that at scale, nothing is truly a commodity. He believes that the know-how of running a hyperscaler, such as Azure, is a valuable asset that cannot be easily duplicated. Nadella also touches on the idea that AGI could help create better AIs, leading to a competitive advantage for companies that invest in this area. He acknowledges that it's difficult to predict where value will be created in AI, but believes that hyperscalers will play a crucial role in supporting AI workloads. Regarding Microsoft's position as a hyperscaler, Nadella notes that the company aims to build out its fleet to support various AI workloads, from training to inference. He believes that distributed computing will remain distributed, and that Microsoft's fleet should be designed to accommodate large training jobs, test-time compute, and serving needs. Nadella also emphasizes the importance of having an inference fleet everywhere in the world to serve users quickly and efficiently. There's a need for storage for training data, and the ability to multiplex multiple training jobs, have memory, and create environments for agents to execute programs. The question is, if yearly revenue from AI is $13 billion, and it's expected to grow to $130 billion in 4 years, what does that look like? Is it going to be through office deployments or hosting for others? The key bottleneck would be having the compute necessary to deploy these AIs to do all this work. The response is that the first thing to observe is GDP growth, because that's the real governor in all of this. The developed world is growing at 2%, and if you adjust for inflation, it's 0. The goal is to have 10% growth, like the Industrial Revolution, where productivity goes up and the economy is growing at a faster rate. When that happens, the tech industry will be fine. But for now, the focus is on building compute that can help train and serve the next big model. It's not just about building a model, but creating a commodity that gets used in the world to drive growth. The supply and demand have to map, and the goal is to translate that into real value for customers. The conversation turns to the idea that the world economy is $100 trillion, and if it grew at 10%, that's an extra $10 trillion in value produced every year. If that's the case, shouldn't companies like Microsoft be doing more, like $800 billion worth of compute? The response is that it's not just about building compute, but building compute that can actually help serve the next big model. The real question is this just about building compute, or is it about creating a commodity that gets used in the world to drive growth? The answer is that it's not a race to just build a model, but to create a commodity that gets used in the world. And unless you do those two things, you're not going to be able to take advantage of your investment. The conversation also touches on the idea of Jevons paradox, where the demand for something is highly elastic, and the price of intelligence is coming down. But the real thing is the utility of the tokens, and intelligence needs to get better and cheaper. Anytime there's a breakthrough, it brings more demand, and that's how it should be. The question is, what's the key use case of intelligence that really requires it to be cheaper? The answer is that it's not just about the price, but the utility of the tokens. If you want to really have an impact in the global south, in a developing country, you need tokens that are available for healthcare that are really cheap. The conversation also talks about the deployment of these capabilities and how fast it will be. The answer is that it's going to be a real challenge because the real issue is change management or process change. It's not just about introducing AI into knowledge work, but changing the workflow and the work artifact. The analogy of lean manufacturing is used to describe the process of introducing AI into knowledge work. Just like lean became a methodology for manufacturers to become more efficient, AI is going to be like lean for knowledge work. It's going to be a hard work of management teams and individuals who are doing knowledge work, and it's going to take its time. The analogy is further explored with the idea that lean physically transformed the manufacturing process, and AI is going to do the same for knowledge work. It's going to change the way people work, and it's going to take time for people to adapt to these new patterns of work. It's a great way to identify bottlenecks that might not be immediately apparent. Satya Nadella has been thinking about how AI agents are changing the way he works, and he's excited about the potential for co-pilot agents to automatically populate his drafts and make his workflow more efficient. In fact, he already has around 10 agents that he uses for different tasks, and he thinks that soon he'll need a smarter way to manage all of them. As the CEO of Microsoft, Satya has access to a vast amount of intelligence and resources, and he's curious about how others will be able to tap into that in the future. He thinks that the interface between humans and AI agents will be crucial, and that's why he's so interested in the development of co-pilot agents. But Satya is also excited about another major breakthrough that Microsoft researchers have announced: a significant advancement in quantum computing. This breakthrough is the result of 30 years of research and development, and it's a major step towards building a utility-scale quantum computer. Satya thinks that this could be a game changer for fields like chemistry and physics, where quantum computers can simulate complex systems and processes. The breakthrough is based on something called Majorana zero modes, which are a type of quantum state that can be used to build more reliable and scalable quantum computers. Satya thinks that this could be the transistor moment of quantum computing, where the technology becomes much more accessible and usable. In terms of timeline, Satya thinks that it will take a few more years to build a fault-tolerant quantum computer, but he's excited about the potential for quantum computing to revolutionize fields like chemistry and physics. He thinks that quantum computers will be able to simulate complex systems and processes, and that they will be particularly useful for problems that are not data-heavy but require a lot of exploration. Satya also talks about how Microsoft is approaching the development of quantum computing and how they're working with different types of quantum computers and software stacks. He thinks that the key to success will be building a culture that can take innovation and scale it. And that's something that he's focused on as CEO when it comes to making research decisions. Satya thinks that it's all about good judgment and culture. He says that MISR, Microsoft's research arm, has built up a strong institutional strength over the years, and that they're able to make bets on fundamental research that may not pay off for many years. He thinks that the key is to be able to capitalize on innovation and scale it, and that's something that he's focused on as CEO. Satya talks about another major breakthrough that Microsoft has made: the development of a new AI model called Muse, which is designed to generate games that are consistent to user mods. He thinks that this could be a major breakthrough in the field of game development, and that it could enable new types of gameplay and user experiences. This technology has the potential to revolutionize the gaming industry. And Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, is excited about the possibilities. He notes that Microsoft has a long history in gaming, dating back to the company's first game, Flight Simulator, which was released before Windows. The conversation then turns to the potential of AI in gaming, with Nadella noting that AI can be used to create more realistic game environments and to enable new types of gameplay. He also mentions that Microsoft is investing in cloud gaming, which will allow people to play games on any device with an internet connection. Nadella sees AI and gaming as a natural combination and believes that the technology has the potential to be a game changer for the industry. The discussion then shifts to the topic of mixed reality, with Nadella noting that Microsoft has been working on this technology for several years. He believes that mixed reality has the potential to create a sense of presence, allowing people to feel as if they are really there. Nadella also mentions that Microsoft is working on a project called EVAS, which is a mixed reality platform for the military. The conversation then turns to the topic of quantum computing, with Nadella noting that Microsoft is investing in this technology as well. He believes that quantum computing has the potential to solve some of the world's most complex problems, and that it will be an important tool for driving innovation in the future. Nadella also discusses the potential of AI to create a new species, noting that this is a topic that he has written about in the past. He believes that AI has the potential to create a new form of intelligence that is beyond human capabilities, and that this could have a profound impact on society. However, Nadella also notes that there are many challenges that need to be addressed before AI can reach its full potential, including the need for trust and the need for a clear understanding of how AI will be used in society. The conversation then turns to the topic of superhuman intelligence, with Nadella noting that this is a topic that he has been thinking about for some time. He believes that superhuman intelligence has the potential to create a new era of prosperity and growth, but that it also raises many challenges and risks. Nadella notes that the development of superhuman intelligence will require a fundamental shift in how we think about work and value, and that it will require new forms of governance and regulation. The discussion then shifts to the topic of alignment, with Nadella noting that this is a critical challenge for the development of AI. He believes that AI needs to be aligned with human values and goals, and that this will require a combination of technical and social solutions. Nadella also notes that Microsoft is working on a number of initiatives to address the alignment challenge, including the development of new software engineering tools and the creation of new forms of governance and regulation. The conversation turns to the topic of deployment, with Nadella noting that this is a critical challenge for the development of AI. He believes that AI needs to be deployed in a way that is safe and responsible, and that this will require Nadella also notes that Microsoft is working on a number of initiatives to address the deployment challenge, including the development of new software engineering tools and the creation of new forms of governance and regulation. It also highlights the challenges and risks associated with the development of AI, including the need for trust, alignment, and deployment. Nadella's insights provide a unique perspective on the future of AI and its potential to shape the world in the years to come. One of these thresholds is related to the permissions of the runtime environment in which the AI operates. It's essential to ensure that the AI is sandboxed and doesn't go out of that sandbox. This is particularly important when it comes to web search, as the AI may write code that is deployed and executed in the wild. In the context of web search, the AI may create code that is ephemeral, only existing for a short period to perform a specific task. However, it's also possible for the AI to create code that is more persistent and can be used for malicious purposes. This is why it's crucial to control the action space of the AI and ensure that it doesn't create code that can cause harm. When it comes to integrating AI into a product suite, there are several considerations that must be taken into account. One of these considerations is how the AI will interact with other tools and canvases. The AI may also need to create a PowerPoint slide deck based on the meeting notes. In this scenario, the AI is not just a tool for automating tasks, but rather a co-pilot that can help with knowledge work. This can free up the user to focus on more high-level tasks, such as discussing the case with colleagues. The use of AI in this way can also transform the way SaaS applications are used. Instead of having a narrow business process with a UI in the browser, the AI can be used to create a more comprehensive and integrated experience. The AI can be used to interrogate SaaS applications and get more utility out of them. In terms of the future of SaaS, it's likely that the industry will be transformed by AI. The use of AI can create a more explosion of apps, which will be called agents. These agents will be able to service every vertical industry and category, and will be able to participate in a multi-agent world. When it comes to retaining talent, it's essential to create a culture that allows people to become company people. This means giving employees the freedom to take risks and experiment with new ideas. It also means creating an environment where employees feel like they have a stake in the company and can make a meaningful contribution. In terms of refounding a company, it's essential to be able to see things in a fresh way. This means being able to challenge assumptions and create a new vision for the company. It also means giving employees the permission to take risks and experiment with new ideas. If Satya Nadella were to leave Microsoft, he would likely start a company in a domain that is underserved. This could be in areas such as healthcare, education, or public service. He would want to use technology to create a positive impact in these areas and make a meaningful difference in people's lives. When it comes to the concept of AGI, Satya Nadella believes that it's not a static thing. Cognitive labor is not something that can be automated in a single step. Instead, it's a shifting landscape where new tasks and opportunities are created all the time. He believes that AI will continue to evolve and create new opportunities for humans, rather than replacing them. In terms of the future of work, Satya Nadella believes that AI will create new opportunities for humans, rather than replacing them. He uses the example of horses, which were once used for transportation, but are now used for other purposes. He believes that humans will find new ways to work with AI and create new opportunities for themselves. Satya Nadella believes that the key to success is to be able to adapt and evolve. He uses the example of Microsoft, which has been able to refound itself multiple times over the years. He believes that this is the key to success in the tech industry, where things are constantly changing and evolving. The question was raised as to whether the existence of these machines would somehow diminish human capabilities. However, it was argued that humans can still maintain their cognitive agency, even with the presence of these machines.
Dwarkesh Patel posed a hypothetical scenario, asking if an AI could ever be added to the Microsoft board as a useful advisor, given its ability to provide judgment, context, and holistic understanding.
Satya Nadella responded by sharing an example of a facilitator agent in Teams, which has the potential to help humans stay focused on important issues during meetings. He envisioned a future where such an agent could be used in board meetings to keep discussions on track. The conversation then shifted to the topic of materials and chemistry, with Satya Nadella expressing his desire to see 250 years of progress in these fields happen within the next 25 years. This sparked a discussion about the potential advancements that could be made in this time frame, including space travel, space elevators, and immortality. Satya Nadella emphasized the importance of quantum computing in driving innovation in materials science, which could ultimately help address global challenges and pave the way for interplanetary travel. Thank you for tuning in. Please click follow button, and just remember, subscription is only £1 or $1 per month. Leave a comment or a review. Until next time, happy listening!